Shalawam, all praises, all honor, and all glory be unto YAHAWAH, by Hashem, yahawashi, by Hashem, qadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Shalawam, Barak ATHAM, peace and mercy unto all of our Akim out there, to the hopeful elect, to the one-third, to the men, women, and children. Right, and basically the mirth is gone out of this place, man. The mirth, the joy, the laughter, alright, it's all gone, So I found this article through the Spirit, I pray it be edifying. It says 33 million Americans will not travel during the holidays because they can't afford to do so. And the holidays should be called unholy days because that's what they are. They get you to worship pagan idols or the dead or straight up Satan. Days like De La Muerte, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all of these are to the worship of Satan or to celebrate the conquering of our people, the Israelites, Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Alright? We have repeatedly been told that the U.S. economy is booming, but meanwhile, the middle class in the United States continue to be hollowed out. The financial bubbles that the Federal Reserve has created have been a great blessing for those at the very top of the economic pyramid. But most of the country is still deeply struggling. Yeah, this place is done, man. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. Everybody's miserable. Everybody's depressed. Nobody wants to go to work. Right? It is sick. This place is sick. According to one survey, 78% of all full-time workers in the U.S. live paycheck to paycheck, and that doesn't even include part-time workers or those who are unemployed. But I've also been told that unemployment is low, but the real numbers tell us that there are more working age Americans without a job in 2018 than there was at any point during the last recession. So even though that they're telling you all this bullshit, make America great again, it ain't. It's on a steady decline, man. It's circling the drain. And that's the judgment from YAHAWAH by Hashem in this place. And it's beautiful to watch. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord, YAHAWAH by Hashem had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to earn every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Yeah, this place is very perverse. It's very lewd. Alright, it's very demonic. Alright, last week at the camp we had this big muscle-bound sodomite fucking show his nakedness to us. This place is sick, man. That's because the Most High has mingled up a perverse spirit up in here. And all you people are drunk off that Babylonian wine, man. Alright? Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch, or rush may do. Yeah, we know that Egypt is the house of bondage, which is synonymous with America, because this is the Israelites' house of bondage to this day. Alright? But that's the times we live in. It's going to be a time where it ain't going to be no work. You ain't going to find no jobs, man. Alright? Most of the people that my wife and I know are struggling, and I continually get emails from readers all over the country that are struggling. The sad truth is that the middle class is slowly but surely dying, and more people are falling into poverty with each passing day. Call law, y'all, about Shimmy Shah. See, this is the agenda of the elites. They want order out of chaos. Alright, so they want people rioting, killing each other, looting, burning buildings. They want people out there running with like a chicken with his head cut off. And what they're gonna do is introduce to you the new system of currency, which is gonna be the RFID chip. Right? RFID chip is the mark of the beast. Alright? And with it, they're gonna implant it in you so that you can buy or sell. Because everybody's backing out the dollar, man. The dollar is about to be obsolete. And we got more evidence of this fact on Tuesday, according to one new survey. 33 million Americans will not travel during the holiday season because they simply cannot afford to do so. And that's beautiful. Because Most High is not with these holidays anyway, man. Alright? This is Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Yeah, the Most High hates Thanksgiving. He hates Halloween. He hates Christmas. He hates New Year's. He hates Martin Luther King Day, Valentine's Day, all this bullshit, man. Alright, the Most High hates, and he hates some more. Alright? Call law, Yahawaah, Sham. People think God is all love. He ain't, man. He created you with emotions, but he's not supposed to have emotions. The Most High hates these feast days. That's why you people are losing your jobs. And this is a heavy demonic season we're entering anyway. This is where a lot of people kill themselves because they can't get their children Halloween costumes or Christmas presents. They go crazy. Stress is at an all-time high during this year. Alright? Says Valid Hub's winter travel survey had revealed a disturbing trend. 33 million Americans won't travel this winter because they can't afford it. Yeah, you need money to travel, man. How do you have to get money in this society? You have to work. But what you gonna do when ain't no jobs, man? Alright? People are gonna starve. The mirth is going out of this place. Hey, these holidays don't have the same spirit in them as when, I was growing up, you know. But I remember when, growing up, everybody's looking forward to Christmas or Thanksgiving, family get-togethers. But now nobody's getting together. Everybody's beefing. Everybody's miserable. Alright, it's because the Most High is not with this place, man. I have been warning about the effect that rising interest rates would have on the economy. And rising rates are being blamed for this travel slowdown. It says U.S. consumers will be shelling out billions of dollars in extra charges they otherwise could be spending on other things such as travel, said Mark A. Bond, director of the Resort and Vacation Rental Management Program at Florida State University. This makes it difficult to travel now, let alone after the holiday spending has ended. But of course, the truth is that most Americans were deeply struggling long before interest rates started to rise. Those of us in our prime working years can try to work even harder to make ends meet, but when you're an elderly and on a fixed income, there's little that can be done. According to the Sacramento Bee, 9 million elderly Americans across the country can't afford to eat. In one of the recent articles, they featured the plight of 71-year-old Floridian Janet Burke. It's beautiful, man. Called law. Burke is one of the nearly 9 billion elderly people at risk of hunger in the United States. And Florida, with the highest percentage of people 60 and older, more than 750,000 elderly need food assistance, according to experts. Man, this place is came and take care of the elderly people, man. All right, this is it. This is it. This is Isaiah chapter 24 and 7. The wine mourneth, the wine languish. All the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of Tabard ceased. The noise of them that rejoiced ended. The joy of the harp ceased. Yeah, the joy of the harp ceased in America, man. All these Christmas carols and Thanksgiving specials, all this shit is going down the drain. Don't mean nothing no more, man. People can't even afford to put food on the table, man. You know? They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. That's what's happening, man. America is being broken down morally, economically, spiritually, physically, on every angle. All right? Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Yeah, because eventually it's going to be riots in the streets because the people can't feed themselves. Right? They ain't going to be able to feed their children. They ain't going to be able to work and make money because the economy is going to collapse. So they're going to have to bring in martial law. All right? So people are going to be shut up in their houses, man. All right? That's what's coming. This is what this is going to lead to, total chaos in the streets. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. This is what it's going to take. It's going to come to blows, man. Alright, it's going to get real bloody. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into the city, and shall not be able. Why? Because the city's going to be blockaded, man, besieged, shut off. Alright, nothing gets out, nothing gets in. If you try to get out, you get put to death, man. You try to get in, you get put to death. The bridge is going to be taken out. Watch the movie I Am Legend. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Alright? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Yeah, man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man. Why? Because they need to eat. Their families need to eat. So if you know that Mark down the street got a fucking fallout shelter, you gonna run and mark shit, man. Alright? That's the time that we're coming into. This is verse of Isaiah 24:11. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Alright? The mirth, the joy, the happiness of the land of America is gone. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Alright? That's what the Most High is bringing, man. And with that destruction comes our deliverance. The problems confronting the elderly have become one of the most hot topics for candidates this election year. Candidates in South Florida have pointed to the needs of the elderly as one of the key concerns voiced by voters. More than 100 million Americans receive assistance from the government each month, but many citizens do not believe in receiving any help, and so they just quietly suffer as they search for a way to make things better. Today I would like to share with you a testimony from someone that has been there. My good friend Daisy Luther knows what it's like to barely survive from month to month. And the way that, see, Jake's been doing this, man. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we been going through this shit, living paycheck to paycheck, barely surviving. So Jake's know how to make something out of nothing. But now that these Edomites are suffering, now you got articles such as this one. See, now the joy, the mirth of the land is gone, man. Alright, because this is their kingdom anyway. Luther knows what it's like to barely survive from month to month. And the way that she just described, right, because Jake's is under the curses, man. But now the curses that are upon us, they're being put on our enemies, the Edomites, man. Alright? And the way that she described those struggles in one of her most recent articles was extremely poignant. Let's talk about poverty. I don't mean the kind you're talking about when your friends invite you to go shopping or for a night out and you say, no, I can't afford it right now. I don't mean the situation when you like to get a nicer car but decide you should just stick to the one you have because you don't have a few thousand down payment. I don't mean the scene at the grocery store where you decide to get ground beef instead of steak. I'm talking about when you have already done the weird mismatched meals from your pantry that are made up of cooked rice, stale crackers, and a can of peaches, and you moved on to 101 on earth you're going to feed your kids. Call law, y'all, about Shimmy outside, man. This is what's coming, man. Alright? A great famine is coming. Alright? Scripture says many people shall die of a famine. This is the second Esdras 16. Uh, and 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great debt. This is what we're given. This is what we're living in. The beginning of sorrows, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation are sent as scourges for amendment. All right, but you ain't gonna heal Babylon. Jeremiah 51. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. All right. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be also mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. All right? For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Many people are going to starve to death. They're going to resort to cannibalism. All right? And other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right? That's what's going to happen, man. People are going to start starving out here in America, man. You're going to start seeing articles about people starving or people committing cannibalism. All right? Or when you get an eviction notice for a non-payment of rent, a shut-off notice for your utilities, and a repo notice for your car, and there's absolutely nothing you could do about any of these notices because there's no money. See, our people been going through this, man. Sheikhs know how to struggle. All right, but now you Edomites are going to feel what we've been feeling ever since we got over here. And it's beautiful. It's judgment, man. All right? If you have never been this level of broke, I'm very glad. I have been this broke. I know that it's so destroying. Well, no matter how hard you work, how many part-time jobs you squeeze in, and how much you cut, you simply don't make enough money to survive in the world today. The U.S. economy is booming. And why are millions upon millions of American families struggling like this? Sadly, it's because the truth is that the U.S. economy is not booming, and we continue to get more indications that another major economic downturn is imminent. Yeah, that's what's coming, an economic collapse, all right? Because there shall be no work for Egypt, and ultimately, the Most High wants to destroy this place, man, all right? He has it out for it. This is Ezekiel 7, and verse 17. All hands shall be feeble, and knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of YAHAWAH Shem Yahawashi. Yeah, now people are just straight up ditching the dollar and buying up gold and silver. Like that's gonna help, all right? But that ain't gonna stop a troop or a missile, man, or quiet the rumbling in your stomach, all right? They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So it's gonna come a time where people just gonna start burning these dollars, using this as toilet paper, man, using it to stay warm, cause it ain't worth shit, all right? Says sadly, it's because the truth is that the U.S. economy is not booming, and we continue to get more indications that another major economic downturn is imminent. It doesn't have to be this way. Blueprints have, excuse me, blueprints have been proposed that would mean much better days ahead for America, but most Americans seem quite content with the status quo. All right, and it's just a little more, but you get the gist of the article, man. All right, the joy, the mirth is gone out of this land. The economy is collapsing. Like the Most High is destroying this place. And we're just doing what we're supposed to be doing, man. We're just measuring the time diligently. All right? The second address 9 and 1. And he answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, which there's earthquakes every day. All right? 4.0s, 5.0s, 6.0s. Every day there's earthquakes. These are signs. There's uproars, Antifa over there in Portland. All right, the Egyptian against the Egyptian. All right, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. Alright? So these are just signs that YAHAWAH is about to make his second return on this place, man. That he told us to watch out for. You know? Hey man, with that, all praises, all honor, and all glory be unto Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, qadash. Double honors unto the apostles, the elders, the great millstone, and Shalom, Barak ATHAM, peace and mercy unto all y'all came out there to hopeful elect.